So what's the question again? I think it's really rare these days that you see a brand getting proper smashed by a Google update, that we like what we saw in 2014 kind of era. Now it's more commonly you'll see a brand either dipping down when an update happens and then kind of dipping back up again, or you see a brand kind of consistently just kind of dropping and dropping and dropping. If it's the latter, it's probably not kind of like one trick that you're doing completely wrong. It's more likely to be just generally like where you're heading in a direction with your marketing is not, in Google's eyes, the best way to do it. And if you're not playing ball with their kind of utopian vision of how best to run your kind of site in terms of user experience and marketing strategy, understandably, also perhaps unfairly, they're not going to reward you for that. You're that brand and you're thinking, I'm just getting little kind of smacks every month that these updates are happening. It's probably worth getting an SEO agency to do a more comprehensive audit of the site and the brand in general. So not just, I know there's a lot of SEO audits that will just be like Ahrefs, and they'll just do an Ahrefs report and an SEMrush report and say like, oh, you've got these broken links and you've got this and that. I think it's worth taking a much more holistic look at just the website in general. Like, what are you trying to do? Obviously, things like your technical makeup of the site can be big things that are holding you back, but also things like, you know, what's the content talking about? Like, what's the quality of it? How well sourced is it? Who's saying it? Is it kind of in line with your brand, or is it just kind of anonymous copy that anyone could be saying? And then in terms of the links as well, like, are your links relevant to you as a brand, but also are they from places where your audience in theory are? If you're doing a campaign, you're a sports-based company and you're doing a campaign about MMA, for example, even though they might not look top-notch kind of in terms of technical link metrics, there's some really niche kind of MMA publications out there that from a relevancy point of view are top-notch, and it's also where the kind of audience they're appealing to exists too. So there's some of the different things you can look at. There's a misconception again from that 2010s era SEO that it's this thing that just completely demolishes your brand and any sort of vision and values that you might uphold, whereas now it feels like it's just part of marketing. It's a way more kind of inclusive part of the mix. SEO can and should absolutely support what you're trying to do as a brand, rather than just be this anomalous kind of growth thing that you do that doesn't make really any sense based on who you are, but you do it anyway because SEO. That still definitely does happen, but it shouldn't, and there's a way to make it work that fits into who you are.